Audio up, audio up, audio up. There we go. Shadows in the chat, my man Shadows. We've got Bosco in the chat. I can see Jen. Bosco, thank you so much for the gifted sub, my man, as well.
Damn,
Guys,
you're already getting subs?
I know, man. Just started, man.
Hey.
Guys, welcome to the stream. This is the first ever live podcast, and I'm joined with Starspawn. Starspawn, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna be talking a lot of gears with you, man. Firstly,
I'm ready.
How's life over there in the US, man? How's it?
It's different. It's one of those things you can never really get used to as much as I'd like to. I've been through several different situations that, like a situation happens in society, and then from that day on, things are never the same.
Yeah.
And it's just coming to terms with that and accepting that wherever we go from here is going to be different from now on forever. So, it's just another lesson in life of accepting the hard situations that come in life, But here we're going through, I believe we still have in the US, we have the most COVID cases now. So not only are we dealing with the sickness, but we're also dealing with a lot of people that don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And the consequences of that it's hard to accept, but I think we're going to get through it. The vaccines are going out. Hopefully they're going to work. And then maybe we'll get back to some semblance of normal life again. But as of right now, I'm just dealing with it the best I can. Remember what we were talking about earlier, I do pet sitting.
Yeah.
And that's all people going on vacation and stuff. Well, all of that stopped. And as far as our business is concerned, we took a big hit this year. It's kind of rough, but fortunately for us, we were in a position that we could handle getting our business chopped more than in half. And it still provided me an opportunity to where I still had time to stream, and I still am able to do. Yeah, we didn't really suffer too bad like a lot of other people did, because we were more prepared. But things are starting to pick up a little bit. People are starting to go on vacation again, and getting back to normal as far as that's concerned. But as far as normal could ever be again. So I think you have it worse now, don't you guys, in the UK?
I mean, not long ago, our death count was like almost 2,000 in 24 hours, which is ridiculous. Like, it's getting better, but there's no changes. We're still locked down. We can't really do anything. It's a nasty situation for everybody. Businesses are dying. People are getting mental health issues out of it. It's just I can't get over it, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, the vaccine's coming out now, which is good, but I don't know, man. It's a big thing for me to talk about, because when it comes to UK politics, it's a massive thing. I could talk forever on it, man. But some of the stuff they said I don't agree with, man. It's crazy.
Well, it's hard to be in the position of being responsible for a country. And then, like, what can you do? You got this illness spreading around. There's only so many things you can do, and trying to shut down everything is pretty much. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I'm not the one that has to make these decisions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. So let's move on to Gears. So where did you start with Gears? So where did it come into your life? What year? What day? What console? What game? Just go for it.
Well, so I got the 360. I got that in November 2007 is when I got a 360.
Oh, nice.
And the only reason I remember that is because I got it for my kid for his birthday. And but he lived with his mom, so the Xbox stayed at my house. So I ended up playing it more than he did. And I had a buddy that he worked all the time, but after work he would come over and hang out with me, and we would just fuck around and stuff. But he was the type of guy, I don't know if this is even a thing anymore, but he was one of those guys that would go and buy all the new games but never have any time to play them.
Yeah, it still happens.
So he would have just stacks and stacks of games, and whenever he would get a new game, he would bring it over to my house and just say, "Hey, check these out." And one of the games he brought me, and this would have been in like, I guess December.
Mm.
It had been right after I got the Xbox, but he brought me the Gears of War 1, and I had never heard of it or anything. So I put it in and was instantly like, I in my mind, I was like, oh my God, this is how all the games are going to be from now on.
Mm.
There's going to be a bunch of games just like this, just like there's a bunch of first persons. This has to be it. This is like the perfect fucking game I've ever played. So I ended up playing it, and then my kid would come over, and I was like, hey, you got to see this game. So we ended up playing split screen Gears of War 1 campaign. And it was amazing, you know, like, unfortunately for me, though, at the time, we didn't have good internet.
Mm.
So I didn't play online, 1, and I didn't play online 2 until it was probably at least a year into the game.
Yeah.
Until I finally had internet that was reasonable enough to play it. So I really didn't get serious about playing Gears multiplayer until Gears of War 3. And I got Gears of War 2 on release. I bought that one at GameStop, standing in line until at midnight.
Wow.
And then Gears 3, I got at a Walmart where I stood in line. Like back then, you had to stand in line if you wanted the game. So I bought all of those on release, and then I played Gears 3 for a long time. But you have to understand it. Back then, it wasn't as common as it is today to be on YouTube, and there was no Twitch. And if you wanted to know anything about video games, you had to buy magazines at the store. And by the time you got a magazine at the store, it's already 2 or 3 months old. The information in it. So I didn't really know what was going on. And then I heard about Judgment, and it was after it was already out. Oh. Like it had already come out. So I went and I got Judgment. I played it for like a couple weeks. I did the campaign, you know, and then I didn't really like the multiplayer because of the control differences. I didn't like that. So I went back to Gears 3, played that a little bit. And I remember the new Xbox came out in like 2013. And I remember looking, and there was no Gears of War game. And I was like, well, I don't really want to buy a console because I'm playing Gears of War 3, you know, like I'm still playing Gears 3. So I waited until Ultimate Edition. So Ultimate Edition was coming out, and then things got serious, and this would have been like 2015.
Yeah.
And I told Matt Caroon, I was like, you know, I need to get this new Xbox or whatever. So she got it for me for Christmas 2015 with Ultimate Edition. So I jump on Ultimate Edition, and I'm like completely blown away how they could take the old game and then make
Revamp
it.
Yes,
like next generation it, and the smoothness of it, and the how it just works. You know how UE, it just works.
Yeah,
the guns work. Everything's smooth. It was so good, and I was hooked, obviously, you know. So I'm playing it, and I'm hearing rumors of Gears of War 4. Let me go back a little bit too, because this ties into the YouTube thing. Because I didn't start watching YouTube until about 2009, 2010, and that's when I was just get on there, and I'm trying to learn how to play Gears. So I'm watching like Butters tutorials. I'm watching Landon videos, shit like that. So you know, but I'm still not really. I'm not in the YouTube thing. I'm just like occasionally watching videos and stuff.
You're just a supporter, right? Like you're commenting on people.
I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that. I used to not even comment on videos. I just watch a video, try to pull some info from it and for my mind, and I jump on the game.
Yeah.
It was very very casual. So I'm on there, and by the time I got UE, I had found Shadow's videos. So I had been watching him, and I was desperately looking for information on the beta for Gears 4 because I knew that there was betas on Gears 3 and 2, but I did not know how you got involved in it. Like I didn't understand how you signed up for it, or how you have to go to a website, or whatever it was at the
Yeah.
time. So I'm starting to put two and two together. I'm on YouTube and I'm looking, and I had all the information of Gears 4 beta I had already seen, and I was on like day 3 or 4, just going back to YouTube, and I happened to see that Shadows posted on there, I'm live on Twitch, and I had no idea what Twitch was. I had never even heard the name, had no clue. So I just click on the link, and next thing I know, I'm seeing Shadows live streaming. And this is after me watching YouTube videos for years.
Yeah.
And I'm able to chat with him. Like, I'm able to have a interaction with this guy I've been watching on YouTube. I was completely blown away.
Yeah.
It was like one of those moments in life where just like a clarity happens.
Yeah.
And you see something amazing, you know. And then he was given the beta away. He had codes, he was giving them away if you subbed, and I ended up subbing to him. He's the first person I followed on Twitch, and he's the first person I subbed to on Twitch. I didn't get a beta code out of him though, but but I did. I was exposed to the beta. I saw what it was like, and you know, I was able. That next week is when everybody got to play the beta. And then, you know, I'm like sending them messages. I'm trying to play with them on Twitch and stuff. And I think the combination of having that revelation of, wow, this live streaming, and then Gears being my favorite game, and me finding all these other people that had the same passion for the game that I did.
Yeah.
All of that just added up to put me where I'm at now, as far as I play this goddamn game all the time. You know, I played it all the time before, but not with the same, I guess, I want to say like drive or passion, or I don't know exactly, but I all of that. And then, like I said before, when I played split screen with my kid, you know, we did 1 and then we did 2, the campaign, and I think we did 3 as well. He might have moved on by then. He's just a PC gamer now. He laughs at consoles, and, you know, he's like one of those guys. But it just had a special place for me, as far as just how I found the game, and the experiences I had, and then moving into the future and being able to become a part of a community that revolved around the game. It put a special, like, I'll always have a special place for Gears.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, it has, you know, Gears is one of those games, you know, sometimes you can absolutely hate the sight of the game, but you still end up going back to it no matter what. It's like that inner addiction. You know, there's no other game out there like Gears. Same for myself. I didn't really get into Gears until I found out Judgment released. And that's when I discovered people like Shadows. So I wanted to get the Onyx Guard, you know. I had him in Gears 3. He's my favourite character. I wanted him in Judgment as well, but I didn't know how to get him, and Shadows had got him in a video. And he put a video out how to get him. I think it was buy the VIP pass or something for Gears Judgment, and you unlock the male and female of him. That's when I started watching Shadows and Pete and stuff. But yeah, like community stuff. I was kind of late. I was late to it. I didn't get internet till 2011 when Gears 3 launched. And I missed out on Gears 2 multiplayer. I missed out on Gears 1 multiplayer. I missed out on all that. I wish if I had internet, I could, you know, I could have absolutely destroyed on their multiplayer. But Gears 3 was the one for me as well. So very similar, indeed, man.
Well, I wasn't in a place in my life either then where I could have dedicated enough time to playing the game. You know, real life stuff was happening, and I couldn't dedicate enough time. I was very casual back then, you know.
Oh shit!
It wasn't until like late 2000, until I got the Xbox One around 2015. You know, just when you go through life, you'll go through just different chapters in your life, and it just happened that at that time, I was changing. You know, like I decided, like, things changed in my life. That there was things I used to do that I didn't want to do anymore, and then there was new things that I wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very fortunate. I was in a position to have the time to be able to do what I wanted.
Yeah, man. That's I mean, at the time for me, I was at school, so I could only
Hmm.
dedicate a couple of hours a night on Gears, and but it was still some of the best memories I've had on Gears. 100% was Judgment
Oh
Days.
yeah,
Um, right. So let's talk about recent events. So recently we've had Dana leave the coalition.
yeah.
How much of a shock was that for you? You know, because I mean, I didn't know it was coming until said it at the end of the stream, and it was a crazy surprise for me.
I didn't expect it, but I remember every time one of the other guys were leaving, in my mind, I would run through like, wow, Dana's been there a long time because he
Mm.
took over for Pez Radar. You remember him, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I think Pez did an
And
alright job as well. To be fair, but his community aspect wise, I don't think he had the touch
uh,
that sort of Dana brought in.
I think this happened to him and Dana both. Is that they came in from other games and they probably in their mind thought that the job they were getting was just going to be like the ones that they've already seen,
Mm,
but then they end up stepping in to the Gears of War community, and I don't think anyone can be prepared unless you already know, unless you're familiar with the community. I don't think you're prepared for what you're going to have to put up with as a community manager.
mm.
The amount of nonsense that they had to put up with on Twitter alone, it would break a strong man, you know.
Yeah, it would,
So
man.
when I would see like these other people leaving the coalition, and I thought, man, Dana's been there for a long time, and to be honest, like the only person I trusted at the coalition was Strangulate.
Oh,
That's
really?
it.
Strangulate.
Yeah, that was the only one. And do you know Strangulate?
Yeah, I know. He used to be an ex-pro player, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's the only one that was like someone who played the game that didn't got a job. Whereas I see the rest of them, and I don't know this because I don't know them or whatever, but
Yeah.
what it appears to be is that these are just like college graduates that happen to play games, and they got a degree in something that is video game related, and they'll just take a job with whatever game will hire them. Whereas
Mm.
like Strangulate had a passion for Gears. And when he was at the coalition, I felt like there was at least one of us in there. The rest of them are
Mm.
just they just go to work. It's just their job. They could work on Gears today and then tomorrow. You look at Rob Ferguson. He's on
Mm.
Diablo. That was his real passion. He could give two shits about Gears. Like he's working on his passion now. Uh, and all of them are getting promotions. Like all of them. Node Zero will get a better job. Dana's going to have a better. Like they all use Gears as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And for us, like especially how they just like shit. I don't want to say they shit on it because a lot of people do like the changes in the game right now, but for them to just do all those changes and then fucking leave,
Mm.
well, it's a little bit of a I don't know. I don't want to say insulting to us, but I feel like us on the content side, like we've really gotten a tiny, not even a tiny bit of support from them at all. They've totally tailored the game towards a certain direction,
Yeah.
and they have not considered us. And I always wanted to ask Dana, like, who at the coalition do you talk to when you guys are going to make a change on the game? Do you have someone that you can say, well, how is this going to affect the content people? Is there anyone at the coalition that does that? That because I don't think there is.
Mm.
And when I watch the dev stream and I see how poor quality that is, there's no alerts, there's no overlays, their audio is shit. It's always fucked up. Like there's always a delay or there's something fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this is a Microsoft like AAA studio. All they do is Gears of War stuff. They don't have anyone that knows how to work OBS. Like they don't have like someone that can make an overlay for them or some graphics or an alert. Like is there nothing? And it just makes me think they have such little emphasis or little importance on content that they just do not give a fuck.
Mm.
And that attitude, like that perception of their attitude, hurts the game overall. Our perception should be they are trying to do everything that they can to help us keep streaming their game, not just make YouTube videos, because the YouTube numbers versus the Twitch numbers, you know, I mean, Twitch is where you get the most interaction. YouTube, I guess you're getting thousands of people watching videos, I guess, but it seems like the interaction of YouTube videos doesn't translate over to creating hype for the game like live streaming does. And it just concerns me that the people at the coalition are taking us for granted. Like, we're going to play the game anyway. You're going to make YouTube videos on it anyway. So they don't really have to do anything to keep us. But yet when Nick Merckx gets on fucking Twitter and says, hey, I want Execution back. Well, hey, guess what? 24 hours later, we got Execution, you know, in the hopes that he'll just fucking play the game. Meanwhile, all of us that have been streaming the game for years, you know, we're lucky to get a response back on Twitter. Like, you know, it's crazy, man. I wish Dana all the best, and his replacement, Kilo, seems to be very receptive on Twitter right now, but it is his first month in the job. I don't know if he's going to maintain that. Hopefully he will, but in my experience of seeing it, they put up with it for a couple months, and then the Gears of War community just starts wearing them out. They just start, you know, working on them. Oh, like somebody's just constantly on Twitter just after them about, you know, where's my character? Where's the skins? Where's the new game modes? Like, oh, constant just nonsense. And if he can handle it, then hopefully he'll maintain the current openness with the community. Only time will tell. You know, time will tell on that. But Gears of War community manager is a rough place to be.
It is a tough job. Like, I mean, I'd say one like, a couple of my, like, I ain't gonna lie, like one of my favorite sort of community managers that we did have. We had Jack Thelen and we had TC Octus. Like, they were the OGs. Only reason I call them the OGs is because, you know, they've came from Gears. I mean, I know Octus played in G-Con and stuff, so he is a Gears fan, so that's what benefited. It's same for Kilo. You know, Kilo's came from esports, so it's going to benefit us, him having Gears knowledge. Like, Dana came from Need for Speed, so he was quite new to Gears, but after talking to him, he was passionate about the game. But I can understand where you're coming from when it comes to, like, you know, seeing that there isn't a care. It's like, I don't know if it's manpower, I don't know if it's resources, I don't know how. I think maybe Microsoft maybe have some sort of, you know, chokehold on TC for some of the decisions they make. You know, I don't think it's all TC that make everything. Well, I don't know, man. It's TC. I think they're doing a good job currently. In past, they've not done the greatest. You know, we've had months of silence of stuff. And no marketing at all. I mean, Hivebuster marketing, I've not seen a lot of Hivebuster marketing, and it was one of the greatest campaign DLCs, you know, they've put out. But there was no marketing at all for it. I just feel, I don't know, it's hard to say, really. I mean, what do you think? Do you think Microsoft have got a hold on TC, or?
Well, if they did, I'm sure they do have a lot of influence, but I always wanted to know, like, who's the guy? Like, who's the guy that's in between corporate and the coalition? Because if there's that guy, why don't you tell the community about him? Like, what's his Twitter? You know, let's talk to him then. If there's a problem where somebody from corporate is the one calling the shots, then we're talking to the wrong people as a community. We're just talking to ourselves. If the community manager has no power, then what are we doing? Yeah. Like, and it would be upon them, like the community manager, to say, well, hey, it's not just me, it's this other guy. But I don't know if they're like, who, like, when corporate wants something done, who do they call? Like, is it Dana, or not now, but you know, Kilo? Then is it him? Like, is it someone else that we don't even know? How does that work? Just out of curiosity, how does corporate talk to the coalition? Because if you hear them in public, they'll say, oh no, they're totally an independent studio. But I don't believe that. how can you be totally independent when all of your funding comes from here? Like, you know, they don't control their own funding, so they're never going to be independent.
Mm.
And the other thing I talk about whenever corporate gets brought up is corporate is very happy with the game because they met their Game Pass milestones. They had, you know, however many million people initially on Gears 5 when it came out. It won awards for, you know, I forget which awards it won, but you know, whatever. So as far as like checking the boxes for corporate, it did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think though that Microsoft being Microsoft and them looking at Gears of War as being one of their flagship faces of Xbox and seeing the passion that we have as a community and for us to keep putting up with all of the nonsense and still keep playing the game, there is a player base there that can be expanded upon. And I think that when they look at Gears of War, they see the potential just like we see the potential.
Yeah.
And that they ask the same questions that we ask, like, why is this game not more popular? Unfortunately, after those questions, instead of them like asking us what we think about the game, they decide that they know what's best for the game, even though they don't necessarily play the game. And then they just put those changes into the game.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, in my opinion, until they at least attempt to get some feedback from us, more than just, you know, sending some surveys out to a few selected people, you know, until they do that, I don't think they're ever going to really, I don't know, I can't say that. I mean, you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You're talking about thousands of people that work there, people that know way more about this than I ever will. It's easy for me to sit from the outside looking in and just be like, oh, you guys suck, do this, and this. But and then with me not understanding the mechanics of how those things actually are implemented. So it's easy for me to sit back and say that. But
Yeah.
at a certain point, after years and years and years, and then us seeing like, well, Gears 4 was really good, you know, why not just keep that as the model and just give us new maps and new graphics? And they decided to go in a totally different direction. And you know, when I see that and see that the opportunity they had, it was right in front of them. They could have just did that, stuck with what worked, and then just kept going, and then emphasized new content. Instead, they just decided to reinvent the wheel, and now we have to go through basically like a beta testing over and over and over. Like, shotgun's too strong, shotgun's too weak, lancer's too strong, lancer's too weak, move too fast, move too slow. You know, it's constant like stuff that should have been worked out in the studio. You literally pay people a salary to test your game. You know, you have people in there that you're paying to make your game, and you still can't get it right. It's very strange to me. But you know, it's gonna be up to us, I guess, until we are just done putting up with their shit. Which, I mean, personally, I'll probably never be done putting up with their shit. I don't know. Like, if Gears 6 is the last Gears, then, I mean, I'm going to play that until I'm dead, I guess. I don't know. But,
I don't think it'll be the last Gears.
Man, you don't?
No. I can see him putting something else out there. I know they're working on an unannounced title. I mean, obviously, I'm going to 100% say it's probably going to be Gears 6. But you never know. They could be working on a side project. They could be working on... as what most people have been talking about, a battle royale mode or a Phoenix collection in the works.
Did you see the story about I forget who wrote it? It was like a IGN or something. They put out Gears of War needs to be on PlayStation. It was out a couple days ago.
I don't see why not. Honestly, it would make it populate the game a lot better, bring new players in. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I think it'd be great, and I know that Microsoft they don't view Sony as a competitor. That's why they don't mind having their games on as many systems. You know, that's why Xbox doesn't mind having PC and Xbox share titles. You know, the exclusiveness of a game isn't as important to Microsoft as people playing their games on whatever system they have.
Yeah.
I remember the Gears on Nintendo talk for a while too. That never materialized. But
Oh yeah, so there's handheld Gears as well. There was you know, I mean, I don't see why not they can't do the Fortnite path where it's on everything.
mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't see why not. It would
Or
just help the game.
Shadows would say if they had a battle royale, make that free and then put it on all PlayStation,
Yeah,
Nintendo, whatever, just
exactly.
like Fortnite. That's what Shadows has been talking about forever, man.
I mean, battle. I think battle royale at the minute. I don't think it's off the cards, but the current mechanics and stuff in the game would not work. I don't think for battle royale just won't work. They'd have to
Well,
adapt
not
something
not for
brand new.
battle royale as we understand it. It would have to. It would have. I would think you. It would still be classified as a battle royale,
Mm,
but it would have battle royale elements in there.
mm,
But it wouldn't be like because there's a lot of the battle royale you can't do with Gears, like the weapons. There's not enough of them unless you had like a golden lancer and like you'd have to have like
yeah,
different. I don't think that they would go that route. And I was talking to this is another idea. I keep stealing Shadow's ideas,
yeah.
but he was talking about a mode that was like executionish, like a single life mode where there's like a zone that gets tighter, and then in the middle, like at a certain point in the middle of the map, a ring appears, and you can either kill everyone and win, or you can stand your guy in the ring for like 5 seconds and win. And I think that would cause a lot of excitement because that ring pops up, and even though you're camped out, then you try to fight to get positioning to get in that ring,
Mm,
and that could be very exciting as far as an esports goes, or just for content in general. Uh, and that's the other thing about a battle royale. I see on Twitter people complain about like, I don't want battle royale, and you're going to ruin Gears, this, and that. But what they don't understand is like Gears of War 1, 2, 3, and Judgment. Those games are from a different time.
yeah, they
There
are.
was not content, like there wasn't live streaming. There was like video games then are different, but the Coalition has given us a game that is from that era. Like we need a new Gears of War. Like we need a modern Gears of War where they keep in mind people are going to stream this game, they're going to make content for this game, and then make the game for that. And then if there's esports on the side, that's fine. The esports guys will figure out a way to make esports out of whatever game you make.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make a game for esports. I think their emphasis on esports has caused them to just go down a road that has made things worse and worse as it's gone along.
Mm,
And I can't blame them. I remember back in the day, like in 2016, 2017, where everyone was like, oh my God, esports is the next thing. We're going to have all these new games. There's going
that's
to be
right.
arenas filled. It's going to be the biggest thing ever. And then now here we are, 5 years later, and it's still the same games: Call of Duty, the fighting games, Smash Brothers, Gears to a lesser extent, but there aren't all these new games that came out. There isn't a big esports scene. It was a complete fabrication. All this investment came in. Everybody lost their asses. Think of all the Gears teams that are completely out of business now.
Oh,
Echo Fox, that was a multi-million-dollar gaming org with a fucking celebrity owner. All the investment in the world, they are out of business now.
Optic
Like
gaming as well.
the whole esports thing was a mirage. It was like people were just scared. It was a grift. They were getting investment by promising a bunch of shit that was totally unattainable. Well, all the game developers were around this talk, so they are thinking we got to make our games for esports.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, all of the content people just got really ignored or second class citizens or whatever. When really the content is what drives the game. If it wouldn't have been for content and Fortnite would not be. Esports did not make Fortnite. Content did.
I think Ninja made a big impact on that game. I think, because people saw how he could play that game, people started watching him and watching him and watching him. And because he had a a base already from Halo, being a pro player from that. He
But
built
still, he's
something
not like the
huge.
most amazing player though.
No,
He's
there's
not.
more. There's huge. There's a guy called, I think his name's Jay Fish. I think it is. He's a pro player. He's a young pro player for Fortnite. He's amazing. It's
Well, that's
unbelievable.
now though. That's now. I'm talking about in the past even. Ninja just his aesthetic matched Fortnite also,
Mm,
with the hair and the whole thing. But without the YouTube and the Twitch content of that game, or I'll take it. Okay, how about this? A more modern example would be Among Us.
yeah,
Okay, Among Us was a game for years, like a year and a half, something like that. Under 100 people playing it. Nobody's playing it, right? Content creators start playing it, and all of a sudden, it's the biggest game on Twitch. Content creators did that. They found a game, they all were able to play together, and it caused like a hype around it, and it exposed a lot of people to the game. And the game's great too. I mean, you can't just do this with any game. You have to have a solid foundation of a game.
yeah.
But the content really exposed the game to people. With Gears, it's like what I would love to know what is their plan for discoverability for Gears, like on their end. We're doing everything we can. When new people come to my stream, I'm like, they see Gears of War like 90% of the time. We're doing everything we can
Yeah.
to put the game out there. They are doing nothing. Like what you were saying, where's the Hivebuster promotions?
Yeah, there was hardly anything other than Twitter, and I never seen it on YouTube adverts, or never saw it even on TV. I mean, I remember seeing Gears 4 on TV. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Ram Shadow made an appearance as well on TV. They had a TV spot somewhere. Highbusters had literally nothing at all.
It's strange because I remember like last year during the Super Bowl, I was really freaked out about this, but there was a Gears of War 5 commercial on the Super Bowl. And if you think about how much that costs, like a lot of that, when they say like Gears of War costs however many 100 million to make, a lot of that is advertisement budget.
That's it, yeah.
So I would love to know, like, if a developer doesn't come out and say, this is how much we're spending on promotion, this is how much we're spending on development. If all they give is just one blanket number, then you have to think right there, there's some shit going on. Like, it doesn't cost $100 million to physically make the game. And I think that it's a misconception when people will come out from developers and say, oh, we're spending $100 million on the game. Well, then you find out they bought, a $10 million ad spot on the Super Bowl, or the playoffs in the Super Bowl leading up to it. And then whatever else they did, the wrestling thing, the Terminator crossover, these are all things that Terminator, they wouldn't just say, okay, yeah, we'll pick Gears. We'll just give you guys a free, that's not how it works. Like Gears of War had to pay. They had to pay money to get into that relationship. There was some sort of something. The Terminator people get all the money from selling those characters. Because remember when we were like, change a Terminator sucks, and Dana would say, well, we can't change it unless we ask the Terminator people or whatever.
Yeah,
there's an agreement there that they can't even change the character model unless they get permission from the Terminator people.
Mm-hmm.
These relationships cost money that could have been much better spent. Like, honestly, do you think anyone bought Gears of War because they saw they had a Terminator crossover?
No, of course not. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a cool idea to see at E3, but they were like, "Oh, damn, Terminator's in the game." But I doubt there'd be a very probably minor percentage of people buying it. It's like so I alliterate what Cog Couple said in the chat. Shout out to Cog Couple, by the way. More money was spent on WWE New Day than Hivebusters DLC. Exactly. Like, who? I ain't being funny, but I'm not a wrestling fan. I wouldn't have even seen any of that stuff. It's wrestling's a small minority. They got a big fan base. Don't get me wrong, but I don't watch wrestling. There's a lot of people that don't watch it because it's known as it's fake TV. But
I don't want to shit on wrestling either, but
no, I don't shit on wrestling. I don't shit on wrestling if you like wrestling. Don't get me wrong, but It was a lot of wasted opportunity there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at the start of Gears, they had someone, you probably know him, Doctor Disrespect, was streaming Gears
Yeah.
5. That was their biggest shot, is having people like him promoting the game, because he has a massive audience, and if people think he's playing well at this game, that, oh, we'll give this a shot as well.
Did you see what happened in his chat when he
Yeah.
played? Like his chat hated it, bro.
Yeah.
Like they hated the game. It was so like, I guess if you're used to seeing first person shooters and then you see Gears and it's just like people bouncing around and shit, you think that they're just swiveling the camera around maybe, or it's possibly disorientating to see. I don't know. I remember being just amazed when I first saw. It had to have been like the Essence guys. Like I don't know who exactly, but some of the Essence guys, I'd see their videos for Gears 3 and just see like doing crazy bounces and stuff back then. And I would just be amazed by it. I didn't think like what am I watching, or was I guess I was familiar enough with the game, but I remember like seeing that and then seeing like Kratos fucking hitting blindies across the map and just stuff like that, and just being so curious and just so amazed at how are they doing this, like how is this possible, seeing the different mechanics and stuff and Gears, and it's so unique.
Yeah.
And it's sad though to see or to hear like Nick Merckx talk about, because I considered him like he was a Gears guy, but at the end of the day he's a businessman too, so he's gonna follow what is gonna benefit him. Which I can't blame him for that. I mean, it's kind of human nature, but like for me personally, I'm not going to play a game that I don't want to play just because I'm going to get my audience wants to see, or, like it's going to make me money, or somebody's going to pay me to play it, or I'm still going to play Gears. Like I'm not going to not play Gears. And Nick Merckx just totally shit on Gears.
Yeah. He did.
You heard? I'm sure you heard
I
the
did.
clip.
I saw that clip. Yeah, it was. It went. I saw it went all around the community. It was not.
Yeah.
It was not nice to hear. To be fair, considering he came from this scene.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just doing what's right for him. Fortnite's doing well for him and stuff. So that's what he's gone for. But
to just dismiss like all of us that have stuck with it, or let's just not even say us, because he was more of a pro player. I'm talking about like the OG pros, like he just shit on them, and they're out there grinding way harder than he's ever fucking grinding.
Yeah.
These dudes, when you go to the Gears event, you see it on Twitch and you see the main stage and you see all the familiar faces. If you're at the event, there's a whole side of people that pay themselves to go there and compete.
Yeah, they do.
The pool players, like the pool side.
On the side stations.
Yes. And those guys are chasing their dreams still, okay? And just because their dream is Gears of War does not mean that they should give it up because it's an old game and they should move on and all that, So that was very disappointing. But, that's how he feels. It's how he feels, is what it is.
Let's see. So we got a couple more good comments in the chat. Actually, Cog Couple again. Did Ninja ever even complete the first act? Ninja, if people don't know, Ninja actually played Gears of War. I believe it was a paid thing by Microsoft.
I remember that.
I mean, that once again a bad choice. Imagine giving an 18+ game where you chainsawing people to a guy who plays Fortnite constantly to his audience, his children audience. Man, they're not even gonna be bothered to even look at that game.
No.
Let's see, another one from Shadows. Gear 6 has got to be that modernised next-gen Gears of War game that feels like the next step forward. Content creation at the pinnacle of development design. By new innovative modes, just like when Gears 2 introduced Horde mode, TC needs to deliver on this 100%. They do need to look at content creators a bit more. I mean, promoting stuff. I go back into the whole wrestling thing. Gears 5, they got wrestlers to showcase the game and how awful they were at playing it. Like, come on, like
You remember that?
Yeah, it was awful. It was like St. Gears 4. There were some comedians playing it who've never even probably looked at a game in their life, and they were showcasing new maps and stuff. And I was just like, oh my Christ! Like, it was probably the most cringiest thing I've ever seen. Like, it just puts people off playing the games. You know, why not get
I
Shadows to showcase the game on stage? Why not get Raw? Why not get Doctor Disrespect? Why not get somebody who, you know, has that audience who can,
well, I'll
you
tell you
know,
what, Shadows and Roar would have been a hell of a lot cheaper than those wrestlers were. That's for sure.
100%.
Shadows and Roar would go there for they just fly them out there, buy them a couple dinners, and they're happy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Stick 'em in Byron Burger and they'll just be happy.
Those wrestlers, man, they got who knows what they got. But when they did that promotion with the 3 wrestlers that came out, I literally was like, I've never even seen or heard of those guys
Yep,
in
same
my
here.
life. And I had people in the chat like, oh yeah, this is I can't even tell you who they are now, but they're like, oh yeah, it's this and that, and they never lost a match, and I'm like, it's wrestling, you know,
Yeah.
like, so they weren't scripted to lose. Okay, it's great. You know, like I literally had no idea who those people were. uh, so they must have focus grouped with the player base or the perceived player base, and then saw some sort of crossover between wrestling and, or I don't know, like how, I don't know how that type of thing works. I would like to assume that these people that make decisions actually use data, and you know, they don't just wake up one day and say, hey, guess what, my kid likes wrestling, so I guess we're going to hire some wrestlers. I'd
Exactly.
like to think it's more professional than that, but who
Yeah.
knows?
It's like all the New Day guys. Like, I thought it was a good promotion for Gears, showcasing it and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I think it was awesome, but having it happen the same time as Hivebusters was probably the biggest mistake Gears done. 100%. Like Shadow said, there was no promotion at all for Hivebusters. It's
Well,
sad to see.
if you compare this to like Gears of War 4, where they brought in Run the Jewels, okay?
Mm.
Run the Jewels, they used their music in the first trailer. They used a Run the Jewels song, okay? Killer Mike is a respected, you know, he's very politically active in the U.S. He's an intelligent person, and then LP is a respected artist, producer. You know, these guys are like underground legends in hip hop who had a song in the game, and then they get a character in the game. That totally makes sense to me. New Day wrestlers, though, like it's like a representation of, you know, like again, I'm not shitting on wrestling, okay,
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's hard to
it's
say we're not
fake.
shitting on it, but
It's not the same as having like an underground hip hop artist that is respected underground. Put them in your game. That makes sense. Putting some fake fucking wrestlers in the game for no reason, I don't see there's a disconnect there. I don't get it. You know, it's a different thing. It's a different mindset, I
it's
guess. I don't know.
right. Let's move on swiftly. Let's talk about the big thing that's happened with you recently. Let's talk about TCA.
Mhm.
Let's dive into that a bit. So, on stream, if people don't know already, on stream, was it last week? Was it the last one? I'm not sure. The one before Dana left, I think it was.
Oh, the one where I got clapped about the
Yeah,
where Dana
lads.
told me my numbers aren't big enough.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, it was a big move to on the Dev Stream, of course. I'm not saying that the numbers are like, you know,
Well, he was right
small.
though. I mean, I'll be fair.
He's
He was
being
correct.
brutally honest from his perspective.
But the thing is, though, is that I did not see. This is the problem with Dana. He never answers my questions. He just looks at my question and then like deciphers it in his own way, and then gives me an answer to something else.
Hmm.
My question was, when are you guys going to do anything for the streamers? Which is different than I want to be in the partner program.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the benefits of the partner program, those would I say zero benefit, but that's not true. I would say minimal benefit for me being a streamer. Let's say I get a character 24 hours early.
Yeah.
I get to stream with that character. I'll get a little bit of, you know, hey, you got a new character. That's not really helping me, okay? If I
Mm.
made YouTube videos or something, that'd be different, but I don't. I'm talking about live streaming, okay? I need help with discoverability. So what I would like to see for a streaming program would be just as simple. This would be simple. All the days leading up to the developer stream, the coalition chooses one small streamer or any, I'll start with the partners, because the partners have been getting, they do get characters, but they've been getting ignored, and they would deserve the first wave of this in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But what they would do is they would pick one streamer, promote them on all of their social media, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, along with their dev stream, and say, yeah, our featured streamer of the week is this person, Shadows. They hype them up all the way till Thursday comes. After the dev stream, they host Shadows. Okay. Even take it a bit further, and they could do those Twitch drops, like Valorant does.
Yeah.
Like do one of those in the stream for the streamer, so people would stay in the channel. And if they did like one weapon skin for one weapon per stream, they could stretch that out over like 18 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
There's 18 skins. And then the people after the dev stream would watch whoever they hosted long enough to get that skin. And then it's up to that streamer to retain the person. I'm just asking for help with discoverability. Just get people in my stream.
Yeah.
And then it's up to me to keep them, but that would be way more beneficial than giving me a character 24 hours early. And it would literally cost them nothing. Like they could just do business as usual, have their dev stream, put out the same amount of tweets and stuff promoting the dev stream, just tag on, Shadows this week, Landon, whatever. Roar is coming up next week. And this would help everyone so much.
Yeah, it would.
Because the people that watch the dev stream, there's going to be a percentage in there that are like the pro style, but it's going to be very, very small percentage of esports people watching the dev stream. I guess depending on topic, but on average, the people that watch the dev stream are target audience for content creators like us. People that just love the game and just want to have fun playing the game. They don't want to, learn the nerd angle on Foundation, and then hear like their teammates being called trash the whole time, which is, it's fine. If you like pro style streams, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you like hearing call outs and, you're trash, and then, two in the front, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But if there's another side of it, like what we do, and it's more of an entertainment thing. And that's who's watching the dev stream. It's the people that care about lore. It's the people that play Horde. It's the people that read the books, the comics, they collect the pops. They're in the culture of Gears. They're not just trying to, become pro at the game. And those people getting exposed to those people and as a host, like hosting 500 of those people over to a small streamer, it would make it could change everything for that one person. And that would cost them nothing. It has nothing to do with the partner program. This would be like a separate thing where it's just for like a streamer program. And he didn't even, he just tells me no and then moves on and doesn't even ask, like doesn't even read my whole question, doesn't, and the attitude of like they know it all is it's discouraging to me, because one thing I've learned as I've gotten older is I don't know everything. I literally don't know. And to act like I know something that I don't know is just, it's going to cause something negative to happen. Yeah. And you run into it in life where, you run into someone and they just have to always be the smartest person in the room and they just know everything and they're not just going to listen to anything you have to say, And I hate feeling like that. That's why I'm hopeful for the new people coming into the coalition. Hopefully that they'll take a different direction. I don't know, man.
It's with TCA stuff. It's difficult. I mean, again in chat. I mean, implementing some of those ideas would be amazing, but we don't know how much of an issue that is behind the scenes. I mean, Christ, when I was in Crimson, we tried constantly, pretty much every week, to try and get Gears of War just to get a retweet off him. Just getting a retweet off Gears of War is huge, because everyone on the Gears of War page would see that tweet. and that was a mission, and we still never got it to this day. Still never got it. But I can't remember sure what the reason behind it was, but they couldn't do it. Um,
Well,
and
they
then
probably have to clear you guys. Like, if you were a partner, if you were a TC partner, you probably could have got it just because you've been like, I don't want to say verified, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's just down to they've got to trust us in what we're doing, kind of
yeah.
thing. And you've got the other day we had a dev stream. I think there was like 400 people watching or something. And then they host up Landon, and Landon's a brilliant streamer, and he's playing the wrong game. He's playing Call of Duty, and they didn't even see it, and they was like, "Oh my god!" He just hosted like 500 people, and he's playing Call of Duty. Just like, "Oh my god!"
You know, it's funny you bring that up though, because Landon's been playing less Gears, and I think the reason why is because the only mode he can play now is King of the Hill.
Oh yeah,
he won't play social. He'll only play ranked. And that's the only mode where you can invite enough people from stream, which this goes back to what I was talking about earlier about how is this going to affect content, which the coalition never asks. They just assume that everyone just is going to stream King of the Hill, and then that's that. But unfortunately, when you have a stack on King of the Hill, you're in a position where you're playing against people that are playing the game much more serious than for like as a streamer, like even serious streamers, if you're keeping up with chat and playing, there's only so much you can do on a game. And if you're trying to play against 4 people that are like doing call outs and are probably stream sniping you, it's like it takes all the fun out of the game. It literally sucks all the fun out of the game. And then, you got a guy like Landon who used to stream Gears of War from the time he started his stream till the time he ended his stream. Now plays Gears for an hour or two and then switches to another game.
Yeah.
And that is a direct result of not having enough game modes to play.
Removing that fifth player as well has been an issue as well. I mean, if you've got a big friend group, it's difficult because so that's one less player who can't play with you, and then with esports, it's fucked with that as well. You've got with like with the streaming stuff, you can't stack up on any modes other than King of the Hill. It's horrible. You can't play escalation. I'm in a team. Shout out to Raw Gamers. We can't practice online ranked because it's not even in the game to play. They've took the most competitive mode out of Gears. It's it hurts. It does. It really does. It really does hurt. I'm just hoping.
Well, for them to not replace it with anything, like they just took it out and have no plan.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's one thing to take it out and then say because we're putting this in, but. Did you get to play the Gridiron since they brought it back?
I played it yesterday, and to be honest, I do like it, but it's just the fact that they're not going to stick it back as a ranked mode. They're just going to leave it as a social, which is just.
Well, couldn't you feel the difference though of not having that 5th player?
Yeah.
Like it made it so. It's like
it plays different.
Yeah, especially the size of the maps, and it's just like a ghost town on one side of the map half the time. I don't know, man. I didn't like it. And then when you die on there, it seems like you're dead for a lot longer because without that 5th person in there, then it turns real campy because the maps are so big.
Yeah.
And then you're just sitting there waiting to either win or lose, from your other teammate. I don't know. Like, did you think they would have put it back in 5v5 at least? Because normally I play Guardian in social, and it's the only one that you can play 5-on-5. So I just do that, and I do find quite a few 5 stacks, but I have to constantly put up with either if let's say I have 2 people with me, it'll put us 3v5 a lot.
Yeah,
because we're in the 3 stack, and then it just automatically puts us against another stack, and without any Randys on our team, 3v5, and then maybe by the end of the game we'll get another player in. If they would tighten up the matchmaking on Guardian and just make sure that the lobbies are even, I wouldn't mind it not being ranked. I just need that security of I'm getting a full game every time. If they would just do that, I'd be okay with it. But as it is right now, it's, you know, like yesterday, it was what it just like, you know, when you get on Gears, some days you just can't kill people, and you know, it's just some days you just die a lot and shit.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we kept catching those 3v5s, 4v5, you know, for games in a row, or I was just taking L's because, you know, we're against a 5-stack.
Yeah.
And it just was one of those days that, and I'm just thinking, man, this could be so easily avoided if this was ranked. They wouldn't have started the game unless there was enough people in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the frustrating thing for me about rank. Not so much of like I care about getting a, you know, master's rank, or I just want that for sure lobby filled and then a penalty if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
And that way the games would be so much smoother and more entertaining to watch, instead of me just like, oh God, here we go again. And I don't like being 5v3. Like, I'll have a 5-stack and they'll put us against 3 people. That sucks too, you know?
Yeah.
Then it's just like beating up on someone, and then you can't really even get a clip out of it because your whole team just killing them before you even see them. So, you know, it's that part of it's very frustrating for me because it seems like such an easy fix, and to think that they have 1,500 employees on payroll there, and like if I know this, someone there knows it. Are they just not listening to the people at work? Like, can you not express ideas if you work at the coalition? You know, like this brings up a whole other bunch of questions. Like, how can no one, like, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting a salary to think of these things. Someone else is literally getting paid to think of things, and they can't come up with this. So weird, man.
The problem is with Gears now. It's not a case of moving forward, because I don't think the game will ever move forward. That's the thing. Just from personal looking at the way TC go about things, I don't think it's going to move forward unless they start sticking with the gut with things. So like the Nasher changes, we spend a whole year, probably 2 years, just flipping the Nasher around all the constantly. And why not just have a Nasher, stick with it, adapt to deal with it, end of, move to something else. You know, why can't they just sit and do that? You know, the fact is, the community doesn't help. You know, there's too many people that have a voice to complain about even though some of the minor things. I mean, it's I don't know how to word it, but it's just not good. It's like when this new tuning came out, I had to mute a bunch of people on Twitter because it was all I had every day was this tuning's trash, this tuning's shit, this tuning's like good. I mean, some of the good people on it was like, you know, fair play to them. They were using it to adapt, and some people changed their mind about it, which was good. And then, but you know, it's people on Twitter are just, I don't know, man. It's hard to look at Twitter sometimes. It really is.
I learned this from Shadows pretty much, man. Like he just rolls with he understood that you can't control coalition. Like you can't, once they change something, you either play the game or you don't.
Yeah.
There's no point in bitching about it on Twitter because it's counterproductive and you're literally not going to change anyone's mind. No one cares that you think that it's good or bad. Like the coalition literally does not give a fuck. They do whatever they do for their reasons. They don't care about somebody on Twitter. Like you think that they care that some random person? This is what, like, man, like when I remember when there was a time when there were some people that are like, we're gonna boycott Gears.
Oh,
that's the only thing they'll understand is, you know. And you know, I'm like, I try to speak reason to these people that the multiplayer population of Gears is like 9 or 10% or something. Like it's such an insignificant percentage of the game that they don't give a fuck. Like if they're gonna listen to anyone, it's gonna be the Horde guys. That's like over 50% of the player base multiplayer. So you know, the campaign in the Horde mode is what is fueling the game. They don't care about if all of us quit playing multiplayer. Like it's not gonna change anything. And it would not even be all of us. It'd be what, like fucking 100 people maybe on Twitter, or 200 people. Like who's really gonna quit playing the game? You know.
That's what I mean. It's like fucking, oh, I'm going to install the game, it's shit, and then 3 days later they're streaming it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, man.
I'm not gonna say any names, but there's been
Yeah.
when the tuning changed, there was a couple of them, and now they're all back.
Now they're all back playing it again. It's hilarious to me. I always want to just tweet back and be like, you'll be back in 3 days, don't worry, and then they might just give it a bit longer and they'll come back, but it's hilarious, man.
You can't get upset about things you can't control.
No.
You just have to roll with it, and then, I just keep saying they're going to just change it again. I mean, when have they not changed it? They're going to keep changing it over and over again. Eventually, something else will change, So, I don't know, man. I mean, as long as it has, even though as bad as Gears 5 is, as far as like looking at it from a traditional point of view, it still has the magic of Gears in there. It might be to a lesser extent, but you still get that feeling that is unlike any other game.
Yeah.
I can't get the same stimulation from a video game that I get from Gears of War. I don't know what it is. If it's the extra depth of the character being on there, being able to outplay people with positioning, getting funny kills on people, headshots, stuff like that is so fun. It transcends other video games for me. Yeah. I've never had an experience on a video game like I've had on Gears of War ever. I remember one time, this was in the UE. This would have been after the beta was done, and Shadows he was stream back then. He would stream every day, like around 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. for me.
Yeah,
and I would always be home then from doing the dog stuff, and I would play with him. I'd get on stream and play with him, and we were playing Execution on Mansion. And this is one of those nerdy things where someone comes in your chat and they're like, hey, you remember that one game I played with you? And the streamer's like, no. So this is like my nerdy thing. But it came down to, like, I was the last one alive, and there was like 2 people alive. We were playing Execution, and I ended up clutching it up on his stream. And he was like, oh, shit. Like, he just was hyped up about it. And, man, I tell you what, I was blown away. I was new to Twitch, and then just getting a clutch on stream, like there's people watching. It was just, the feeling of that was so, it was just over the top. It was so over the top for me. I think from that would have been in like 2016, and I didn't even start streaming until the end of 2018. So I was like on Twitch every day. I was in Shadow stream, and then Landon started streaming a lot, like a few months after that.
Yeah.
I used to watch Pete a lot.
Pete used to be a good streamer. I used to watch him quite a bit in Gears.
Yeah. And I'd be on Twitch every day. Like, I'd be in chats all day, all night. Macaroon fucking hated it. She hated Twitch so much. She used to yell at me like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Like, what are you watching video games? You watch people play video games? And she didn't get it. Like, she didn't understand it.
Now she gets it.
Now when she saw the community that was around it, it wasn't just somebody getting on online and watching someone just play a video game. That's not what it is. It is what it is, but there's a lot of extra layers on there. And I think she saw that I was really, not only that I was having a good time and enjoying what I wanted to do, but it was like a positive thing. I wasn't like doing anything bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of people at my age, especially, like, they go to strip clubs and, like, buy cars and shit like that, and go to bars every weekend, and, basically spend their money that way, and I was supporting other streamers. And I would tell her, this is, I'd rather support a streamer than a stripper. This is my entertainment. This is what I like. And these people are trying to make a living out of it. The least I could do is tip them for playing with them, like, so every time I would play with like Shadows or Landon or something, I'd always tip them like $5 or $10 or something. Because I used to think that's how Twitch worked. Like, everybody just tipped, $5 here, $5 there. But actually how it works is that you get a certain, like, there'll be certain people that come in and like, gift a bunch of subs, or like, that's really how Twitch worked.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to figure that out, but I still do that. I still think just tipping $5, $10 here and there frequently, you know, it just shows the streamer that you value their content and that you want them to keep doing the content, because without that, it's very hard to have a full-time job and then stream full-time. It's damn near impossible for most people. I'm fucking fortunate that I work out of the house. We run our business out of our house, so I have an office here and I have all my streaming stuff set up here, so I can just come in, you know, do some couple of hours of streaming. And well, before it was like, you know, being on Twitch and playing, and now I'm streaming myself. I can do some hours of that, shut it down, grab some dinner, finish my dog, the dinner dog stuff, and then jump back on, you know. And I'm just in a habit of doing that now. Last month I put in like 180 hours, I think, something like that, 175.
That's a lot of hours.
And yeah, it's like 40 a week, man, average. But it's easy when it's fun, you know. When what you're doing is fun, it's easy to do. How long have you been streaming?
I streamed on this account quite a few years ago. Literally only for like a year, then I stopped, and then I'd say about 2 years ago was when I properly started streaming, was Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
I
remember seeing you on Twitter before you streamed. Like I remember OnlyStar 109. Like I remember you, and you be in shadow streams too a lot.
Yeah, so I was community around. Don't get me wrong, I was here, there, and everywhere. But I never really streamed until I was in Crimson, I'd say. Just because I wanted to get, you know, the group some viewers and stuff for when we get events and things. And then when I left, I was like, I might as well just take it up on my own, just to, you know, carry it on, but on my own channel. So yeah, I mean, streaming's it's hard for sure, man. When you don't have the support, it's a difficult place. And then, you know, you've got people like yourself who, you know, come in our stream and talk. You know, I love it. I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk about the most craziest things in my stream. I mean, I came in your stream yesterday, come play some games, me and Bosco.
Yeah.
Like I just enjoy things like that, man. But it's that stream motivation. When the stream motivation isn't there, I don't know. It's a hard place. Streaming is for sure. For anyone, I'll give hat to anyone who does it full time. It's a rough journey, man.
It's hard mentally, and what I've seen over the years is that people that did YouTube first, then they get into streaming, and then they find out that streaming is a lot different than YouTube videos, and the mentality of it. I think because when you're live, you can't just like pause it and walk away. Whereas if you're doing editing on YouTube, you can kind of like do it for a little bit and then go take care of some other shit, then come back and kind of work on it some more, and then post it up on your schedule. Whereas when you're streaming, once you hit that go live button, you're on.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, and to do that every single day, it's mentally taxing.
It is.
And people aren't built for it. A lot of people are not built for it. You know, a lot of, you know, like. You know, I've had my fair share of beefs and stuff. I try to stay out of it now, but
I was going to talk to you about that.
a lot of people, they don't understand that, you know, it's your content is all that matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nobody working against. I don't know. I don't believe that there's like a cabal of people that are working against anyone, you know. And it's easy to, if you're failing as a content creator, it's easy to think that like, oh my God, this group of people is like, you know, conspiring against me, and this is why I'm really not succeeding. You know, instead of just looking at your content and saying, wait a minute, maybe my content just isn't good enough. Maybe I should try something else. You know, like there's several other reasons why people can fail besides, you know, a secret conspiracy behind the scenes that's, you know, actively trying to work against you or something, you know, and really like a lot of my beefs had to do with people that don't honestly want what's best for other people. They just want their own thing. They don't care about other people, and when they get enjoyment out of seeing other people fail.
Yeah.
And that type of attitude is just, I can't deal with that. Like, I have zero tolerance for that.
Mm-hmm.
I try to help everyone I can. Like, I do have a little bit of a standard when they come into my stream, and if I don't know them and they're trying to self promote, I'm like, hey, you got to chill. You know, let me at least check out your content first. But if I check out someone's content and they are just like, you know, a normal, positive person trying to stream gears, even if it's from their console, no camera, you know, whatever. Me and Macaroon both, we will help those people. Like, we will help you. We will help you get affiliated. We will help you. You know, I'll sub you at first. You know, I'll try to help you out. But what I've seen is, you know, these people come in, I help them out and stuff, and then, you know, months go by and their stream is the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing new. There's no camera still. There's no like interaction. There's no alert. Like, they didn't work to improve their stream. And then, you know, I just kind of pull back and wait for, like, then if someone else new comes along, and I help them, you know?
Yeah.
And because of that, I think that I think some people have gotten the wrong idea. Like, you know, like, oh, you used to support me, now you don't. You know, you used to come in my stream all the time, you used to sub to me, now you don't. And then they kind of get mad over it. But really, you know, you can't sub to everyone. Like,
you can only do so much.
Yeah, like, there's only a certain amount of that you can do, and I like helping new people. I like help, or on the other side of things, like, if somebody does improve on their stream, you know, then I will continue to support them.
That's it.
But, you know, these situations where somebody, you know, they get affiliated, they get some subs, and then next thing you know, they take a couple weeks off, or, you know, they come back and it's all the same. Like, you know, that's fine if they want to do that, but I'm not going to keep supporting that. Like, you know, it's my, I still like them. And, you know, if they do something new, I'll be the first one to be like, hey, I love your new thing. You know, I host people, you know, I try to do everything I can to help people get started, get established, but then it's up to them. Like, you know, the same with me. All I want is someone to come into my stream, you know, just discoverability. Once they're there, if they don't like the flavor of it, then that's fine, you know, move on. But it's up to me once they get, or I guess I'd be getting my foot in the door for them to watch me, which is kind of a weird, but you know what I mean? Like, getting them in there is my top priority.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if they like the content, hopefully they stay. If not, you know, they don't. And that goes the same for everyone else too. If I'm not going to hold anyone else to a different standard than I hold myself to. So, you know, if people, if they like the content, they stay. If not, they don't. And if they don't like it, then it's up to the streamer to improve their stream, improve their content, try some new stuff, you know, do something different, and just see what happens. But if you keep doing the same thing for months and months and months, and then wonder why your channel doesn't go anywhere, then you have to look at yourself. You can't blame other people. You can't say, oh, well, if Starspawn would have just hosted me one more time, I would have been successful, or, you know, whatever the excuse is. But it's hard, though. It's hard to come to terms with that. It's hard to look in the mirror and say, I need to change. It's hard to take responsibility for failures, and it's much easier to blame other people. And so I'd say, like, all the beefs I've been in have to do with that. Like, strictly because I'm not only am I a forgiving person, but I'm like the most reasonable person ever. I can move on from like one night of just, you know, like, you know, when you get drunk with your friends and you might say something stupid, or,
of course,
you know, the next day I'm like, all right, it's cool. You know, you're sorry. I get it. We were drinking, and then everything's normal again. Whereas some people, they just cannot give up on a grudge. Once they're mad, they're just going to stay that way. And then it's going to reflect on your relationship with them moving forward for the rest of the time you know each other. And that's just not how I am. I'm able to move on You know, go on. You know, try to. I always say you can control the future, you can't control the past. The past is over. Move into the future. It's up to you to be positive and try to work things out and be like, you know, I say this all the time. It's just saying like be a normal person, but that's what I mean is just be like a nice, friendly, positive person. You know.
That's it.
But yeah, what did you have anything else to ask about the beef stuff before we move on?
I do, yeah. I've got two more things to talk about with you. I know I'm running out of a bit of time, but it's all good, so good. Just quickly in chat, I just want to say thank you to Lanta, and thank you to Jen for the cheeky bitties. I appreciate it, and for you guys sticking around. This is something different. Uncle D-Bag, just keep streaming, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. It will pay off. Just keep going. Let's see. People take everything way too personal in content creation. 100% they do. 100% they do. And we're going to get onto that now. I mean, I'm going to bring up a name Starspawn knows very well. To be honest, he's got his gun ready. I don't know much about it, so this is why I'm here to ask and learn. So, let's talk about Dutchy Live. You know, a man who's sort of vanished on the earth. He's nowhere to be seen at the moment. Not streaming. He's not on Twitter. What's the deal with him? You know, where did that sort of happen with you?
I got to be careful because I don't want to involve other people. So I'm just gonna
don't involve anybody else and try not to.
Else.
Yeah.
I'll just say like it originally started because it goes back to what I was talking about before, where some people just cannot accept that they're like some people just can't accept that it's up to them to do things, and Dutchy always has this attitude of why does this person get it and not me? Mm-hmm. Like his attitude is always, I make YouTube videos, so I should also be partnered on Twitch. You know, like I do this, I do that, I help the community, I make videos showing people how to play the game better. I should be treated a certain way. So that's his mindset, okay? And when he doesn't get treated in the way that he thinks he deserves, he automatically blames other people for that. So that you have to think of that as coloring the whole situation. So you already got someone that's bitter and entitled. So he feels like he's entitled to be treated a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay. So when he sees other people that I'm friends with being treated in ways that he feels like he should be treated, then he gets upset about it. Okay. And he decided that he was going to be the Gears police. And whenever he saw one of these individuals that he feels is being treated better than him do something that he thinks that he could alert people to, then he took it upon himself to do that. So, you know, if he sees somebody doing something that he feels like, oh my God, that's against the rules, he would get on Twitter at them, at the coalition, say, this is what your partners are doing. Like, that's the kind of shit he was doing. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course I'm like, this guy's a fucking asshole, you know, but whatever. So, you know, what was the first thing that happened? I think the first time he ever got mad at me is when he got the front wheel of his bike stolen. I don't know if you remember this.
No.
He got the front wheel of it. His bike was chained up, but someone stole the front wheel off it.
Yeah.
And at the time we were playing Gears 4 and like 85% was a meme. So or 83%. And I was like, you still have 83% of your bike. As a joke. It was just a fucking joke. Well, he got all upset, like his fifis were hurt. And he's on there, oh, that's my bike, and it's not really funny that you know, and like started like, you know, he didn't take a joke well, okay. And then, so in my mind, I'm like, all right, I guess English is his second language or something. Maybe he doesn't understand. It's just a fucking joke. Yeah, I know. No, you want to hear something funny? Is that what was his name? What's his fucking name? A guy got on Twitter and said he's the one that stole it, and you'll know him. You'll know the guy. Who's the guy, Macaroon? Who's the guy?
Who's the person?
Oh, what's his fucking name? He got banned on Twitter all the time. He's from UK. No, it's not you, Wolfpack.
Oh no, I think I know who you're on about. Isn't he like really toxic? Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, he's the number one toxic guy. What's his name? Macaroon knows him.
He's the guy who makes all the accounts, isn't it?
Yes, that guy.
Oh
So he
shit.
said he's the one that stole his thing anyway. Um, so time goes on, and
Samo, that's
like
it.
something happened. I forget what happened. It was something dumb, and I like said I was, at night I'd get to drinking on stream and stuff. So I made a little comment about Dutchy or something. So he takes my stream, takes the clip of it, and then he makes a YouTube video, and he puts me in the thumbnail with it says it was me, Jennifer, Cassandra, and Landon. And he put X's through our faces and said we were canceled and made a YouTube video about it. So now I'm like, this motherfucker, like what, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, so of course I'm furious at this point. I'm like, I don't know like what he was trying to do exactly besides, I mean, obviously he's trying to like ruin my streaming career, I guess. I don't know, like good luck. But anyway, so that happens, and we start going back and forth on Twitter, right? Well, he ends up somehow he got all my tweets to him got reported. So I got a week ban from that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a year before the next incident. So the next incident comes up, and here's what happened. He was having a podcast on his Twitch channel where he was talking about the video he made about me. And he was looking through his Twitter on stream. So of course I'm watching the stream, like I'm watching the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And he's looking through his Twitter, and somebody had added him with a picture of a guy sucking his own cock, okay, on Twitter. So he's showing it on Twitch, and that picture comes up on Twitch. So I screenshot it. I'm laughing, right? Well, he ends up getting banned for that.
Yeah.
And from that point on, he automatically thinks that I not only sent him that picture and I orchestrated the picture to be on his Twitch, but that I turned around and reported him, which is absolutely false. I never, ever reported him. Ever.
I was gonna say someone probably did, because if you show any nudity on Twitch or anything like that, it's done. Like your channel is done. it's over with.
He got like a week suspension or something. It wasn't that bad, So then time goes on again, and what happened? You know who Levo is?
Livo. Yeah.
So he's having some beef with this other guy that's making a video about him, a YouTube video about him. So he's on Twitter, and he's like trying to justify, like explaining why the video's wrong, this and that. And I just tweet at him and I said, hey man, don't worry about it. That dude is an idiot. You're just giving it more publicity. Just ignore him. Just don't even worry about it. And somehow he added me and Dutchy in the same tweet for some reason. And he didn't know like we didn't like each other. So Dutchy comes in there. He's like, "Oh, great, you're taking advice from a liar or from a known liar or something like that." Like, just totally shits on me on Twitter for nothing. So I'm like, I get on there. I'm like, "Fuck you. This is your content." And I put the screenshot of his face. I can send you the screenshot. You can't show it, but I mean, it's hilarious. It's just his face with his mouth open, and then it's got the guy with his dick hanging out, like the guy sucking his own dick right by his face. I'm like, this is your content. And, it was just stupid. I shouldn't have done it. But he had all his people report me again and got me banned off Twitter.
Was that the ban that got you off permanently?
Like, permanently, yeah. It's my permanent suspension. So I got clapped on that one, man.
Jamie Paul's in the chat, yo, DM me that afterwards.
I mean, there's some other things that, just like minor things, but basically what it comes down to is just his feeling of entitlement coloring his attitude and the way he interacts with everyone is just he's very like pompous and just like entitled is the only thing I can really say about it. I would like to get past it with him, but I don't know if you watched his last streams that he did, but he did a podcast where he decided to go into American politics, and he had his MAGA hat on, and he was like full Trump supporter. And at that point, I just am like, I think we're better with Dutchy gone than Dutchy here. I just, I don't have any other. I just don't see a path to redemption.
Yeah,
There's some lines you can't cross.
I mean, I know Dutch is he's not streaming anymore or on Twitter. I mean, I hope he's doing all right. I hope nothing bad has happened, but hopefully, at some point, fingers crossed, you could probably squish if he ever comes back. You could maybe squish it.
Maybe,
but
I mean, I'm not gonna put it out of the possibilities, but
yeah.
I mean, it would have to. I mean, shit, man. I would have to be confident that he understood, like, the where he went wrong. Like, like at least say sorry for putting me for making a video to make a YouTube video saying someone's canceled.
Here we go. Here's the picture. Let's have a look.
That's so bad. Yeah, everyone will be back when Gear 6 comes. Yeah, don't show it though. Don't show it.
Okay.
So I put that on Twitter, which it's not against our terms of service, but I got clapped for harassment.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that picture actually. Wow. Drop the nudes. I'll maybe share it with you after stream.
Hey, can you put it in your in the chat of the podcast?
Yeah, I could do that. I can do that.
I think I don't think you'll get in trouble for that.
But yeah, I hope he's doing all right. I mean, but if he comes back, I think he needs to squish beef with people. But I agree with what Paul said in the chat. He said he feels old. It seems like a lot of people are like it now. Yeah, I feel like at this point on, there's a lot of people that have done shit in the community that have charity shit, collecting merch for years and not got any recognition. And it'd be nice for them to get rewarded. I mean, like Cod Couple have been doing unboxings and stuff on their channel for ages. That's where I found them. And they got recognised in Gears 4 with a commendation answer just as a thank you for what you've done. It's brilliant, but you can't bring it to another game. You know what I mean? Right. It's a bit crappy, really. I mean, it'd be nice if TC would actually show people off a bit more for the stuff they do.
Because you saw on Twitch, you saw the guy that broke the record for the most concurrent viewers.
Yeah,
right?
it was like 2.5 million or something like that, wasn't it?
Did you know what sparked that? Do you know why that happened?
No.
Do you know who that guy is and stuff?
Oh, was he? No, he's a big creator for Fortnite. I believe he got his own skin right in the game.
Yeah. So he right now, I don't know if you've looked at the Twitch numbers lately, but right now there's more Spanish-speaking streamers and viewers on Twitch than any other group.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
The Spanish-speaking part of Twitch is the biggest part of Twitch now. And he's a Latin American streamer, and they gave him his own character. Now, imagine if Fortnite gives a random content creator, not random, but a content creator a skin, and then he breaks the record. Like, hey, Gears, can you guys, a weapon skin, like a Shadows weapon skin, maybe? Anything, like any type of support like that would be great. That could, if Fortnite, I don't know, man. Like, why can't they just copy Fortnite? Not as far as gameplay, but
in terms of community stuff.
Yes, and it just seems like it's right there, And Gears is related to Epic. Like, there's crossover there, and it just, I feel like we're stuck in 2012. I used to say that about Gears 4 all the time. If you played the Gears 4 beta, that's what it would have probably looked like on the 360 if they would have came out with Gears 4 instead of Judgment, or maybe if the Xbox One wasn't out, the textures and stuff of the Gears 4 beta, it looked like a 360 game. It's probably a little better than a 360 game, but overall they probably could have pulled it off on a 360. And you can tell the game feels like it's an older game, especially now. Gears needs to do something, man. They need to do something different.
They do.
Hopefully something good's coming, man.
Right. So.
But yeah, like as far as the Twitch goes though for Gears, the Latin American guys are just they own it.
Yeah, they
Like
do.
you go to Wicho's stream, he's got like 500 people watching him. Krauser's the same. Sparkle does good. He doesn't do as good as as Wicho and
He still
Krauser.
gets
But
pretty good viewership though. I think he
yeah.
still gets about 100, maybe 100 people watching him still. You've got
What's weird though is that I don't know if you know about this, but PayPal doesn't work the same in Mexico. Did you know that?
I remember somebody saying that. I remember they said something to do with they're not they don't have it, do they? Or they have to pay a fee or
They have to go
something.
through like a third party kind
Yeah.
of thing. So like what's weird is they have all those viewers, but it doesn't translate over to subs. Like Wicho had most subs that Wicho's had was 500, I think.
Yeah.
And now he's like 250, something like that, 300. But for that size of viewership, though, it's low, and it's unfortunate. Hopefully they're going to change that in Mexico soon. But there's something to where people send money from the U.S. to Mexico to support their families.
Yeah.
It's called remittance, I think is a technical term. And then there's a lot of like, well, they think people are buying drugs with PayPal. So there's all this extra security to go from the U.S. to Mexico on PayPal. It's so weird. But yeah, they're pulling in all the viewers pretty much, man. And you know, I wish I spoke Spanish.
Oh, me too. Me too, man. Right. So we're coming towards the end here. There's one final question. This is a kind of like you got to stare into the camera and give out. So, say if this video gets put in front of Kilo, Sarah, Tyrus, you know, put in front of all the main people at TC. What is your advice to them, or what you think they need to do right now to give people a boost?
I think that if the coalition focused on what content creators need, then everything else would just become apparent. If they can understand that our biggest need is discoverability and that we need help getting people into our streams. We don't need characters. We don't need weapon skins or, you know, I don't know what else they get for partners, but we need help with social media and we need help with getting hosted by the dev stream and promoted by the coalition. And when I say we, I mean streamers. And of course, the partners should benefit from this first. But I think that if they could put like a junior program for all of us smaller guys, just give us a crumb. Just give us some crumbs off the table, please. Just one shout out from the coalition can make the biggest difference. And if the coalition could just focus on what's important for content and how the changes in the game affect content creators, I believe that everything else would be smooth sailing. So I don't really want to put anything specific because, you know, I'm just a guy that plays the game. I'm just a streamer, and I'm just looking for keeping the game relevant so I can keep playing it.
Yeah.
So I know that there is going to be a Gear 6 or Gear 7. I know there's going to be Gear 6. So I know that it's going to be a 7, 8, 9, all the way forever, hopefully. And also I would say to the coalition, just because another company hasn't made a game like this yet doesn't mean that they won't. And eventually there's going to be a third person cover-based shooter where you use cover to get around the map, to facilitate movement. There's going to be another one eventually. It's just the nature of video games. And, you know, when that day happens and you really do get competition, then you're going to have to scramble to try to catch up. So hopefully now you can do what's needed to make sure that Gears stays on top, even if there are other games that come out like it.
Yeah.
That Gears will always be the standard. It will always be the number one place to get that style of gameplay. But do not rest on your laurels, okay? Do not take it for granted. There could be a new Gears style game tomorrow by, what is it, Tencent from China? I mean, you know, they could come out with their own Gears of War, and it might even be better. Who knows? So don't take us for granted, please. All of us that keep playing your game, we love the game. We want to keep playing it, and we want what's best for the game. So please, just give us some crumbs. Consider content, okay? Consider content. That's my message for the coalition.
Awesome. Does anyone in chat actually have any questions for Star or in Gears related just before we end on here? Literally anyone at all, I'm throwing it to you guys because, you know, you've been chatting away. I appreciate it. Again, Jen, thank you so much for the bitties again. Let's see. Roll Company is pretty much that what Star is saying. Yeah, I mean, I think Roll Company is a pretty good game.
They're right there, Wolfpack. Okay? I got eyebrows.
What's under the hat? What's under the hat?
Hey, not much. Right? I need a haircut is what I need, but I got the old cul-de-sac going. I got to keep that hat on. Head gets cold.
Oh, is I got one for you. Where's holy shit, Jen? Thank you so much, Jesus. What piece of merch have you got in your room that's very valuable? I'm not talking about rarity. I'm talking about, you know, something that means a lot to you. You know, have you got anything that you could show us?
I mean, I can roll out the necklace again. I mean, that's my number one item. I've never seen another one.
So you got your necklace. Is there an item that you've received from like Shadows or from Raw that you could show us that you've got when they come over? Or
yeah, I mean, I got a lot of shit actually, but probably this hoodie right here is a good thing that I got. Dana gave me this at when we were in Atlanta at the E-League TV show, and you had to be a either one of the pros or a staff to get these sweatshirts. So he gave this to Shadows, but it didn't fit him. So he gave it to me and then gave Shadows one that fit him. So this is a good one. I'll show you the necklace.
Starswan's got a lot of merch. Whoa. Dana gave you so exactly, Paul. Where's our stuff, Dana? What?
This is the gas right here. And this, I know I showed you this before.
Yeah.
So it breaks apart, and it's all metal. It's magnetic. And then, wait.
I believe this item as well, guys. You can't even buy this. You can only get this from TC themselves.
But yeah, I got this from Evil On. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah. I used to work with Evil One back in the day on charity events and stuff. I think we gave some of those away as well, actually, I believe.
Really?
We did have a look. Yeah, I think we only gave away like 2 or 3. Then quite rare to come by, but they only came from the coalition. Like you can't get them from anywhere else.
I got to meet him once in real life when we went to San Diego to the Gears 4 event. I just briefly saw him. I got to shake his hand, just say hi, and then probably about a year later, he was selling his stuff. He decided to quit. And he sold his capture card and his streaming stuff. So I bought his capture card from him because it was an external Elgato, and I figured I could use it if I ever traveled or something.
Yeah.
So he sent me, I paid him for it. So he sent it to me. I opened the box. This was in there, a sticker for a controller, like a Gears of War sticker that fit on the controller. I still have it somewhere. And what else did he send me? There was something else in there, like another Gears thing. Such a nice guy. I told him, though, I said, listen, man, if I'm never going to sell this, but if you ever want this back, just tell me and I'll send it back to you because, you know, I've never seen one of these. I've looked on eBay to try to buy one, and they're just not available.
That's it, yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, if it was something out of his collection or something, if he wanted it back, I would always give it back to him. But other than that, I'm going to be like, in my coffin with this around my neck. I'm gonna be buried with this. Besides this, though, I have like, you know, my pop collection, which, you know, some of those pops, I got 3 of them, I think, and each one of them is like, you know, $200 now.
Yeah.
So I got all those. I got the mini pops, the Terminator pin. I got a pin collection, so I got the Terminator pin.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Dana gave me that, and Atlanta, and Shadows got all kinds of good pins. Shadows has a big pin collection, but I got those, and then I got pretty much like anything that was available within reason. I don't have the like the Marcus statues and stuff. I didn't get those because I don't have anywhere to really display them. I can show you what you want to see. What Roar broke?
Oh yeah, let's see what the man broke.
See what he broke?
Oh no! Stream, be prepared. The man Roar himself has broke something. Oh no! It's not going to be this, is it?
Roar's in my house, right? And he's getting gassed over in the corner. He knocks my retro off, bro. The knife is gone.
Oh,
I got the knife still, but it's gone. This thing takes like 4 double D batteries or D batteries to make this sound. It's not even a retro.
Oh my god. Let's get some F's in the chat, boys. F's in the chat for the retro Lancer.
He broke that, and then he also broke this.
Oh, he broke something else.
Okay. All right.
Oh my god.
This is my Turtle Beach Pro Elites, right? So Roar's got him on like this, and I'm like, all right, my turn to play. Like we were changing off playing. He goes like this and just fucking snapped it. He's just like a tornado. The Roar tornado. All right.
Jesus Christ. What a guy, man.
Yeah,
I love Roar, but oh my god. I'd have cried.
He gets so
cried
gassed.
over that retro. Oh my god.
Typical Scottish, one drink and he was smashed. He's the best though. Like the Gas Bros, Shadows, and Roar together. Like you see him on stream and you think that like Shadows is hyped on stream and stuff. In real life, he is more hyped. Normally people are like more hyped on stream and then they're kind of reserved in real life. Those two guys, oh my god. The Gas Bros. So fun, man. I honestly like not being able to travel after getting used to traveling every few months and having something to look forward to, having a Gears event to look forward to and planning and then talking about it beforehand and getting everything ready. All of that, I miss that so much. We haven't been able to travel or plan anything. We actually had to cancel our trip. We had one planned where they were going to fly to St. Louis and then we were going to drive to Dallas.
Wow.
Visit with Landon and then go to the Gears event in Dallas. That was our original plan before everything went to shit.
Yeah.
But we still have a road trip planned, Gears event or not. Hopefully this summer we're going to try to do it, depending on how things work out. You know, if we're able to travel, we will travel. If things are still shut down, then we'll have to wait another year probably. So Gear 6, maybe Gear 6 for sure, but. Oh man, it's been hard, man, not having that extra thing to look forward to.
Yeah,
but
things
man,
are
those guys, Shadows and Roar are the best, man. Like the Gas Bros.
Sean's gas kept going to that too. Yeah, I did that night. I ain't gonna lie, Paul. It did. Right then, Starspawn. Plug yourself. There is your time.
All right.
Go.
I'm Starspawn. I stream pretty much every day. I've been trying to do twice a day, but follow my Twitch channel. Turn on the notifications. Come see what it's all about. Come see what the fun is. I try to play Gears mostly, but I've been playing a lot of other games too. So I'm not strictly on Gears, but I'm mostly on Gears. I'm on Twitter too, on Starspawn S, I think it is now. I got a business Twitter that it's not my Twitter now. It's not mine. I just use the Twitter. It's Macaroon's business account. So I'm in the TOS rules. Okay. But follow that and I tweet out when I'm going live. But yeah, you might catch me at an event. You might see me in other Gears streams. Or you will see me on Twitch. So please check me out. See what it's all about. Best commercial breaks on Twitch from Macaroon.
There we go. She had to get it in there somewhere.
No, but thanks for having me on, man.
No, 100%, man.
Anytime I get a chance to talk about Gears and, just the different experiences I had and stuff, I always really enjoy any opportunity I have to do that. So thanks for having me on.
That's all right. No worries, man. Okay,
and we did longer than we thought, too.
Yeah, we did. We only had an hour spot, but we've gone to stretch 2 hours. It was like this with Shadows. We just kept talking forever, man. It just time flies by, man. We're talking Gears. It's crazy.
Shadows can talk Gears from sun up to sundown. Gears and content.
Right, guys in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the follows as well. It's been an experience doing it live. I might try and do this one again for sure for episode 10. I'm not sure who the guest is going to be, but you guys will find out soon. I'm just having a look to see if I can host somebody up because there's no one streaming. Got a low viewer count right now. If there's anyone you can see Star Spawn that we could give some love
there's
to.
this Onyx guard guy. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. How about? Do you know Golden Sand?
Golden Sand, no. Golden Sand, no.
You don't know him?
If anyone could recommend somebody, go for it.
Here, I'll put the.
Gotta help somebody out, you know. It's gotta pass it on.
Copy. Okay, hold on. He, I would say, like, I do have another friend in the thing, but I just hosted him last night. Your host, or wait, I can't do that. Here's his,
Jen again, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you guys coming in again, man. It's been an absolute blast.
But Golden Sand, he got affiliated recently. He's in my streams all the time. I've known him for probably at least a couple years. Oh, is he on the He's not affiliate yet?
Right, okay, cool. Yeah, it should help him out. Awesome. Okay,
he's a great guy. And hey, Onyx Guard, I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you so much for having me on, bro.
No worries, man. Thank you for coming on, man. I'll get you on again for sure. I'm gonna get a panel on soon as well, so it'd be pretty interesting as well.
Let me know anytime, and I will be there.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Starspawn. Okay, guys, we're gonna raid up our man Golden. I'm gonna put it in the chat right for us now. Let's show some support. When we go in, let's give him some sweet love. Let's get that viewer count up on that raid. There we go. It's shooting up. Let's go, guys. Awesome.
All right, Onyx Guard, I'm out, man. Have a good one.
No worries, Starspawn. Catch you later, bro.